Good morning.
Good morning.
Can I hear you make a joyful noise? It is important that you showed up on this very snowy, still autumn morning. Gathering together in community is an act of rebellion against isolation and hopelessness. And to that, what do we say? We are rebels for hope. Let's do that one more time for anyone who's like, I don't know what we say. We are rebels for hope. Please rise in body and spirit and join me in singing 109 as we come marching, marching.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Unitarian Universalism is a faith that is spiritually alive, value-centered, and radically inclusive. We begin each service by kindling a flaming chalice. Those who came before us lit this flame as a beacon of welcome to those in need of a place of sanctuary and belonging. We strive to continue that legacy here today. We kindle this flame with words from the poem written in 1994, You, If No One Else, by Tino Villanueva. Listen, you who transformed your anguish into healthy awareness, put your voice where your memory is. You who swallowed the afternoon dust, defend everything you understand. with words. You, if no one else, will condemn with your tongue the erosion each disappointment brings. Tell how you were able to come to this point, to unbar history's doors, to see your early years, your people, the others. Name the way the rebellion's calm spirit has served you, and how you came to unlearn the lessons of that teacher, your land's omnipotent defiler. Remember how, from the first emptiness, you started saving yourself. And ask yourself, what, after all, these words are good for in this round hour now, where your voice strikes time. So I have announcements now, and sometimes the transitions are a little funny, but you know, it's service auction, but realize this is the way we come together as a community and enjoy each other's company. This is the way we come together and raise money so we can keep this going. So you can find ways our community works for love and justice on the back of your order of service. And the few highlights are the service auction booklets and other information are available for pickup today after service. And I do want to point something out, which is, you know, some of the things are pricey, but if you go to the board items, if you want something at a fixed price, you can see what that price is, and you don't have to bid up and up and up if things go high at the auction. And I just want to point that out because we want to be inclusive in our fundraising. We want to be inclusive in every way we can. Okay, another thing is we are looking to hire someone to help with coffee hour at UU Detroit and Northwest. If you are interested or know someone who would be, please contact Abby. And the Techahila Collective has won 9 parcels of land from the Detroit Land Bank and have invited us to take part in a ceremony to bless the land. The event will take place next week after service. And there's going to be an interfaith Thanksgiving service Monday, November 24th at St. David's Episcopal Church in Southfield. Let us join our interfaith neighbors in gratitude. And more details can be found on the back of your order of service.
Thank you, Jan. That is good stuff to know, but the most important thing is that no matter who you are,
what you believe or who you love,
where you're from, and what identities you hold,
with all of your joys and gifts,
with all of your pain and history,
you are welcome and wanted here.
Come, let us worship together. Let us enter into a time of respite outside the daily demands of life. I invite you to center and let yourself sink into the spirit with the power of music.
And now we have time for all ages. May we now all embrace childlike wonder with a story for all ages. But before I tell the story, I was wondering, do any of the children or the teachers have a joy or sorrow you'd like to share with the congregation? Come on up.
And the kids can come up if they want to listen to the story. Here you go.
My friend's coming over after church today.
Woo! You have one, Maple? Yeah?
Me and them are matchies.
Yeah,
You are. You are. Josephine? Brooklyn? That one?
My friend's coming over to my house today.
Woo! That one?
Yeah. So on Tuesday it was voting day, and the night on Monday I had a sleepover with my friend named Isabella. She lost a tooth.
Oh, congrats, Isabella.
She told me at school that she got $50.
Whoa. Ow.
75
Sorry, Trina. Do you guys want to come up front here and sit and listen to the story?
Okay, the story I have today is called Maddie's Fridge. And it was written by Lois Brandt and illustrated by Vin Vogel. When Sophia and Maddie played at the park, they stretched their toes to the sky. They climbed to the top of the ladder and flew off the end of the slide. They stayed until the buildings grew long shadows and even the taxis stopped honking. Let's play on the climbing wall, Maddie said. No way, Sophia said. I can't reach. Yes way. Maddie scooted up to the top of the wall. Your turn. Sophia put a foot on the bottom rock, grabbed with one hand and stretched, but she couldn't reach the next hold. Sophia's stomach growled. I give up. Let's get a snack. No way, Maddie said. Let's stay here. Yes way. Sophia ran to Maddie's building and raced up the stairs. Wait, Maddie ran after her. Maddie was the best climber, but Sophia was the fastest runner. Sophia swung open the door of Maddie's fridge. What have you got? We have milk, Maddie said. I'm saving it for Ryan. He's still little. Why doesn't your mom go to the store? Sophia asked. We don't have enough money. But what if you get hungry? We have some bread, Maddie said. I guess I'll go home to eat, Sophia said. Please don't tell anyone, Maddie said. Okay, promise? I promise. Sophia ran home past the bookstore and the grocery store. The sun went down behind the buildings and took all the colors with it. Good timing, Mom said. Dinner's almost ready. Louis was wrestling on the floor with Pepito. Sophia opened the refrigerator door. Pepito peeked inside. Sophia's fridge was full of milk and eggs and tortillas and cheese and lettuce and jam and salsa and tofu and even half a can of dog food. Here you go, Mom said. Sophia and Louis each had a plate of fish and rice. Mom had a plate of fish and rice. Even Pepito had his bowl of dog food with a little bit of fish and rice. That sounds like somebody I know. Maddie and Ryan only had some bread and a small carton of milk. Sophia couldn't tell Mom. She had to keep her promise to Maddie. Not fish again, Louis said. I want cheesy pizza bombs. Cheesy pizza bombs are a treat, Mom said. Fish is a good source of protein. Is fish good for kids? Sophia asked. Yes, Mom smiled. Fish is perfect for kids. That night, Sophia had an idea. Yuck, Maddie said the next day. Oh, Sophia said, double yuck. Fish may be good for kids, but fish is not good for backpacks. After school, Sophia and Maddie raced to the climbing wall. Sophia got there first, but Maddie scrambled past her to the top of the wall. Sophia stretched and stretched. Keep trying, Maddie said. You'll get it. I can't. Sophia jumped down. It's too high. That night, Sophia, Louis, and Mom ate frittata. Pepito had his dog food with a little bit of frittata. Maddie and Ryan still had an empty refrigerator. Sophia couldn't ask for help. That would break her promise. She had to try again. Are eggs good for kids? Sophia asked. Not as good as cheesy pizza bombs, Louis said. Cheesy pizza bombs are a treat, Mom said. Eggs are good for you. After dinner, Sophia packed eggs for Maddie and Ryan. Yuck, Maddie said. Double yuck, Sophia said. Eggs may be good for kids. Eggs are not good for backpacks. Sophia and Maddie raced to the climbing wall. Sophia won again, but Maddie shot past her up to the top of the wall. Sophia grabbed one hold, reached for the next, and came down with a thump. That happens sometimes, Maddie called. This is impossible, Sophia said. Keep trying, you'll get it. That night, Sophia, Louis, and Mom had burritos. Pepito had his dog food with a little bit of burrito and no salsa. Maddie and Ryan still had an empty fridge. Sophia wished she hadn't promised Maddie. Are burritos good for kids? Sophia asked. Burritos are very good for you, Mom said. Not as good as, Louis started to say. You should pay attention to nutrition like your sister, Mom said. The next morning, Sophia put 2 burritos in her backpack along with tortillas, beans, cheese, and even some milk. No thanks, Maddie said. You haven't even looked, Sophia said. Is it fish? Maddie asked. No. Is it eggs? No. Is it gross? I don't know, Sophia said. Maddie shook the backpack. Something sloshed. Let's look together, Maddie said. 1, 2, 3, go. Burritos are good for kids and good for backpacks too. Do you want some milk? Sophia asked. Thanks, Maddie said, but I'll save the milk for Ryan. Sophia and Maddie raced to the climbing wall. Sophia won as usual and tried to climb. You can do it, Maddie said. Take my hand. Woo-hoo, I made it to the top, Sophia shouted. We're the tallest kids in the park, Maddie said. Thanks for helping me, Maddie. I couldn't do it alone. Maddie shrugged. That's what friends are for. After they finished playing, Sophia walked home past the bookstore and the grocery store. Her own fridge was full of milk and juice and chicken and yogurt and bread and carrots and even half a can of dog food. She thought and thought and thought. Maddie's fridge only had 2 tortillas, a cup of beans, a bit of cheese, and a little more milk than before. Sophia didn't want to break her promise, but she couldn't help Maddie alone. Sophia told. She hoped Maddie wouldn't be mad. I'm glad you told me, Mom said. Let's see what we can do together. They loaded grocery bags with milk, flour, kitchen, carrots, sugar, oil, and even frozen meat and vegetables. Louis pulled his package of cheesy pizza bombs out of the freezer. He thought and thought and thought some more. Then he put his cheesy pizza bombs in Maddie and Ryan's bag. For a treat, he said. I'm looking at the dog, too. Not sure that would be my dog. At Maddie's apartment, the moms talked. Louis and Ryan played. Sophia and Maddie ran to the park. You broke your promise, Maddie said. I'm sorry, Sophia said. Are you mad? The promise is important, Maddie said. You're more important, Sophia said. I wanted you to have milk, too. Maddie smiled. Are we still friends? Sophia asked. Always, Maddie said. Double always, Sophia said. Cheesy pizza bombs, Louis yelled. Our moms made cheesy pizza bombs for a treat. Sophia and Maddie raced up the stairs. Sophia slowed down so that they could run together. That's what friends are for. And the book ends by saying 1 out of every 5 kids in the United States is at risk of having an empty fridge like Maddie, and I would say the proportion's probably higher right now, 7.
Okay. Today's gonna be Brooklyn. All right.
Okay.
And if everyone else would like to rise, we're gonna sing our children to their classes today.
Each month, we share our plate with a community partner. This month, it is the Te Chi Hila Collective. The Te Chi Hila Collective is an Indigenous-led collective that supports communities in need through mutual aid. In their words, as we work to support our relatives' needs, we are also dedicated to land bank, decolonization, abolition, and collective liberation as antidotes to the societal violence that forces our relatives into needing support. Together, our generosity multiplies. All undesignated donations will be split between the Techehila Collective and our congregation. A link to give virtually is posted in the Zoom chat. No matter what you contribute to the church, be it funds or time or simply the generous presence of your spirit, know that we are so grateful for your gifts. Let's step into gratitude together. Thank you, Alex. Please read aloud the words of dedication, which are written in the order of service. To the work of creating beloved community within and beyond these walls, we dedicate ourselves and our offerings.
As beloved community, we are called to witness one another in grief and in joy. Let us now acknowledge all that it means to be human together. May we start with bearing witness to the genocide and forced removal of the traditional stewards of our land, the Anishinaabe, in all their names. May we bear witness to the enslavement of people of African descent who built our country's infrastructure and economy with no reparations to date. These atrocities, tears in the fabric of our human connection, continue to separate that which longs to be made whole. May we celebrate the weavers who seek to repair the fabric of our interdependent web. May we bear witness to those who sought justice, found beauty, and remained faithful. And together we sing. May we sing praise for the love we see in this world, people getting in the way of injustice, putting bodies on the line, being a nuisance for the sake of their neighbors. We honor them and their courage in the face of this growing fascism machine that is our country. We pull from them inspiration and energy to keep our own voices to cry out, never again for anyone. Could we say that together? Never again for anyone. Never again, not in Palestine, not in Sudan, not in the Congo, and not on our own soil. We bless these actions, great and small, each of us take. We honor the heavy grief we each feel, making each step hard. Together, it will be easier, and together we say. As we bring the focus to our local community, I would like to lift up Ted Danielson is hospitalized with a rare and serious immune disease. Because of a complication, he is currently in isolation and would appreciate phone calls from any that know him. I'm going to invite us all now to hold each other in our joys and sorrows and invite anyone that has anything they would like to lift up to please raise your hand, and I will bring the mic to you.
My joy is, it's snowing.
Our souls crying and
My name is Pete Sutliff. My mother's 97 years old, and her condition has been deteriorating recently. I appreciate your thoughts and prayers.
witness all of our souls crying and singing. For these joys, these sorrows, both said and everything unsaid, we sing once more. silence to feel our connection to each other and to this sacred space. Our reading today is Aaron Says the World is Upside Down by Franny Choi. And it's true. The cops are shooting rubber bullets at even the blonde journalists now. The target is on fire, and the Wells Fargo's shining face kicked in by white boys with gas masks and hammers trying to jumpstart their war. And yet, the upside down world is also, by definition, the same world. Like the map that hung in the hallway of the house where I lived 3 or 4 lives ago. Argentina at the top, Greenland kissing its toes. It was a metaphor, someone explained, for seeing things another way. So yes, if it is true that another killer cops killed another black child's father, another unauthorized chokehold, another no charge again, if once more riot gear again, budget once again, gas station, more flames, more who's to blame gets blamed again, if again and again it is the same, then it holds that the opposite must also be true. The so-called opposite world of food drop-off stations, of phone trees, of bailouts and carry an extra mask. The world of kneeling for a stranger's gift of milk to flush out the tear gas. The world of saying a thing in unison so clear it drills a hole through the other side of what's possible. So clear and wholly inverted, we realize it's been there all along. O kingdom of fire, O kingdom of food, with the same mouth we take your blessings, with the same mouth we pronounce, you come. Please join in whatever way is comfortable in singing 119, Once to Every Soul, a Nation.
bottle up in my memory every look that Bozhena got when she said, "Yay, it's snowing." That was great. Thank you, Bozhena, for reminding us that it's okay to like the snow. One of the first pictures I have in my phone of when I moved to my little house in Detroit on the Rouge River is not me in front of it, it's not my new keys, it's not even the house itself. It is a picture of a full-size mattress that someone left in the middle of the road. It blocked the way down the street and was just left there for days. It got moved to the side by a neighbor, and it was left to rot in the woods until someone reported the illegal dumping, and it was picked up by the city, eventually. That's been a constant. I've been there, I think, 3 years now. People turn down Ridge Road, stop before the bridge over the river, and drop all sorts of garbage. Mattresses, couches, tires, bags of garbage, toilets, car bumpers and fascia. Every week, something new, either in the woods or honestly more often, in the middle of the road. And it's already a narrow road. Talking to the neighbors when I first moved in, they said this isn't new. This has been going on for a long time. And most people assumed it was the same people that just kept dumping their bulk garbage in our road. It just seems like the perfect place to them. And most would shrug and move on, and as I was fuming. But after living there for a few years, I have to admit, I kind of just shrug and move on. You grumble about it when it happens, when you have to do some sort of pit maneuver around a toilet in the middle of the road. You take a picture, you report it on the city's app, they come and get it eventually. They always pick up the bare minimum. There's always more garbage in the woods that they don't get, but they get the big stuff. That changed recently because of an air hockey table and a guy named Gavin. I pulled down Ridge and saw there was an old air hockey table with no legs, just in the middle of the road. I slowed down, snapped the pic, and once I was safely parked in my driveway, I reported it on the app. And I was a little inspired this time to do something different because a few days earlier, the app had notified me that one of my neighbors had reported something, and they had reported another garbage dump, but what she said was, "We need no dumping signs. This happens every day." I put the same thing in my post. I thought, why not? Why not? Not thinking about it much, I posted it and went about my day. I got the notification, the automatic thing that says the city has received your complaint. But then I got another notification that someone had left a comment. I went, that's weird. That's not usually what happens with these things. I opened up the app and there was a comment from a neighbor of mine named Gavin. Gavin said, I quote, "I live near here. I appreciate your concern, but you know that just putting up no dumping signs won't fix anything. The people that dump already know they aren't supposed to be dumping." Well, excuse me for trying, Gavin. That fire that I felt at that first mattress, maybe the second mattress when I knew it was a problem, came back. And I responded, doing nothing also does nothing. And then I got to scheming. The problem was that Gavin isn't wrong. Whoever these people are that are dumping these things don't care, and definitely aren't worried about being caught. They don't care about the river, they don't care about the woods, or the safety and the cleanliness of my neighborhood. They don't care that I almost have hit a toilet in the middle of the night, in the middle of the road. They don't care that the garbage bags get torn open by raccoons, and with a single big breeze, all of that trash comes into our yards and our roads. I know they don't care because if they did, they wouldn't do it. And as far as I know, and as far as they know, no one else cares either. No dumping signs wouldn't help anyone figure out who they are, and I am going out on a limb and say the city of Detroit has no interest in providing us the resources in finding out who they are. We often think of solutions along legal and governmental routes, and we say someone should do something. Well, What if we're the someones? What if I am that person that show these people that someone cares about what they're doing? I can either sit here frustrated and give up like Gavin, or I can do something about it. But the question is what? City's out. I'm not ready to go pester the city about this yet. And I go to bed at 10, so I can't really stay up and stake out. What is left when all avenues have been explored? Being a petty little nuisance. If I cannot do anything else, then by God, I can be annoying. But what mode of annoying? Again, do I pester the city about it? That doesn't feel fruitful at this moment. So instead, I decided to do something to let these midnight dumpers know that someone was watching and someone was concerned about what they were doing. I got some cheap plywood, I printed off some things, and I found some nails, and I made 3 signs that I was going to have them up by the time of the sermon, but I went to go hit them in and all of my signs fell apart. So I need to go back to the drawing board about construction. But I made 3 signs that are going to go in the ground where they classically put the stuff. Each one has a pithy little saying that's a little rude, and a QR code that if you scan it, pulls up Google Map directions from that very spot to the city dump. I have no idea if this is going to do anything. Most likely these signs will be knocked over and ruined by weather, and I'll have to put more out. And I don't know if this will make a difference because I will most likely never interact with these people that are doing it. The only way I would know if it was working if it slowed down, and that takes time to see. But what I do know is that it felt pretty good to do it. And I had a hell of a good time making the signs. I don't think I've ever giggled to myself as much as I did making these silly signs as I had in a long time. Can an action have worth if it has a small impact? Maybe even no quantifiable impact? Can an action be worthwhile if it's fun? Does it matter if it fixes the issue if I had fun, got to use my imagination and work with my hands? I mean, I got to use my power saw. That has to count for something, right? We are absolutely bombarded with calls to action, and then we hear those actions aren't worthwhile. Protest A isn't legitimate because it was peaceful. Protest B wasn't legitimate because it caused property damage. Action C doesn't count because nobody saw it happen on social media. Can we pause a moment and think about what the point of that narrative is? Who benefits from us believing that doing something to try and fix the world isn't worth it? Who benefits from us believing that we have to be joyless and serious all the time? Do y'all remember when Tim Walz was calling people who were really obsessed with trans people and like what people did with their bodies, he called them, that was weird? Obsessing over what people did with their bodies or kids in sports and what they have in their pants was weird. Do you remember how effective that was? Just for a moment, it was effective. I don't think I imagined that calling these people who were doing weird things, calling them weird, was effective. And if I'm a little honest, it was a little fun. And I know some of us are going to think, well, that wasn't very polite, though. But I also want to offer is politeness, specifically the type of politeness that is demanded when talking politics. Is it really getting us anywhere? How can we be a little ruder without causing harm? I think we can, and it's not a perfect process, but I lean on the words of a very imperfect person, Mother Teresa. She said that we can do small things with great love. Are my signs a little rude? Yes, a little. They're going to be a nuisance, and they aren't a pretty addition to the woods because I don't use a straight edge. But the reason I'm doing it because ultimately, I love the woods. I love the river. I love my neighborhood more than I hate what the people are doing to it. You may not agree, and that is okay. The framework I'm pulling from here is the idea that you don't always just have to do big action. You can just be some dirt in the cogs. I was inspired by a digital zine published by Invisible Histories of the same name. They provide small ways every day that you can oppose fascism. And I'm not going to just list what they put here because I really want you to go look at the zine yourself. If anyone needs it, I can send it to you. But it's the spirit of this zine that drove me forward with my little silly signs. The beautiful thing about this framework is that you can choose actions that fit your life. Little things to do every day. And I think it's also important to understand the why behind what we do, to have a sort of philosophy behind it. So in the spirit of this zine, here's my framework, and maybe some takeaways that can help you. The big one is, like I said, you have to love humanity more than you hate the monsters. I hate fascism so much. I am frustrated and I'm angry at this administration whose only goal seems to get more power and hurt more people, to punish anyone that makes them question their own superiority, and that is becoming everyone because they are sensitive. But I have to love society more. I have to love our future more than I hate those who want to destroy us. And another thing I'm going to do, the other thing is I'm going to have fun. I'm going to experience joy. And I'm going to do things that maybe won't matter in the long run, but they matter in that moment. And if they don't end up having the impact I want, I will not deem them a waste of time because these little actions are practice. Activism is not just something we do, it is a muscle we exercise. By jumping in and doing little things, I am exercising the muscles and the instinct required to jump and do the big things when I am called to do so. Every time I raise my voice, even if I may be shouted down for being impolite in a low-stakes setting, builds me up to stand up before a city council or a government or police. Every time I make a shitty little sign, I am much more ready to take up another and stand before ICE, police, the government. Each time I giggle as I print a stupid little saying, that joy carries me to the next thing. Every time I talk to a neighbor, I build my network. It is not impolite to throw dirt in the machine when the machine's purpose is to perpetuate harm. Some people, no matter how polite you act, will claim you are not because what they really want is for you to be silent and to comply. And if you can't do that, then they need you out of the way. Some people will shoot a pepper ball at a man praying for their souls. Some people will drag a daycare worker out of her place of business as children scream, turn around and blame that woman for resisting. Don't you see that will never be enough of them until any dissenters are too scared to speak or dead or disappeared? You may not be thinking that making a silly sign or calling transphobes weird is anything or will do anything, but it's still a pebble tossed in the pond. It will still ripple. What you can do is add your pebble and your pebble and your pebble until it makes a tidal wave. It all builds. We just got to build it. It's in here somewhere. Please join me in singing 168, One More Step.
One more step. We will take one more step till
more song. We will sing one more song till every song is sung by everyone. We'll sing one more song.
I invite you all to stay standing or whatever. Put your body in a place that is comfortable. Turn towards each other and appreciate all who have joined together to build this beloved community today. You can put your hands across your heart. You can reach out and take each other's hands. Each is a gesture of connection, and together we sing.
We are we are holy. We are holy.
Please repeat after me. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of hope.
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of hope.
The warmth of community,
Warmth of community.
or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
These we carry in our hearts until we are together
again. My friends, one of my favorite writers right now, Margaret Killjoy, wrote the other day in response to the grand success of the elections all around the country, "The victory of progressives is a byproduct of our work caring for one another and building another world, not the goal of the work." We've had some victories. We've seen some cracks in the facade of this ridiculous, dangerous fascist regime. Always remember they are weaker than they seem. The smallest thing can let them know that they are being watched and that we care when they try to tell us that we don't. Make them wrong over and over again with the little things. Love this world more deeply, more passionately than they could ever dream. Their imaginations are limited. We are not. And we sing.
We are we are holy. We are holy. One another. We are holy. We are holy. We are holy. One another.
Go in peace. I love you all. Please join us for coffee and conversation in the social hall.